saved our lives.
He was remarkable.
Apes, together, strong.
You're him. You're Caesar. We've been searching for you for so long.
I did not start this war. I fight only to protect apes.
War 4: The Planet of the Apes is the new film in the ever-sprawling Planet of the Apes franchise. This installment is the third movie in the current reboot trilogy. This one is the second one directed by Matt Reeves. He also did Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, which came out in 2014, I think. And yeah, so I'll give my brief thoughts on the rest of the franchise before I go into War for the Planet of the Apes. I've only seen, of the original movies, I've only seen the very first one. I haven't seen all of the sequels, but it was pretty okay. And I've never seen the Tim Burton movie, which I've always heard was really bad. And then Rise of the Planet of the Apes, it was pretty cool. I remember I liked it a lot when it came out. I just recently rewatched that one and Dawn before I saw War, and it was alright. I really liked James Franco in it. The development of Caesar from that movie was pretty cool, and that kind of, branched into what it did for the rest of the franchise, which in my opinion was probably the strongest element of the franchise, was the character development of that particular guy. Rise of the Planet of the Apes was alright. I didn't love it, but yeah, okay movie. And Dawn of the Planet of the Apes was a smidge better than Rise. And yeah, it really focused on, the society that the apes were building and that kind of stuff. And you got a lot of character development more with Caesar and all the other apes that he was palling around with. Decent movie. I liked Dawn pretty good, but that kind of leads me into my issue with War for the Planet of the Apes. It was a lot like Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. And Matt Reeves just kind of turned it up a little bit and made it a little crazier, but the stakes didn't feel any higher to me. And that was kind of the issue I had with War for the Planet of the Apes. And I know it's being hailed as greatest Planet of the Apes movie ever made. I don't know. Maybe, in my opinion, this idea doesn't really have this long of legs to be making this many movies off of, and to stretch a prequel trilogy out this far, because the movies just feel kind of samey to me at this point, and that's what bugs me about it. War for the Planet of the Apes, well-made movie, great acting from Andy Serkis. Woody Harrelson was nuts. There was some good stuff in it. I don't think it's a bad movie. To me, it just wasn't different enough from Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and it just kind of felt samey, and it didn't feel like anything was more important. It didn't feel like this was the war for humanity. This is when everyone, all the apes take over and they destroy the Statue of Liberty. Like, none of that happens in this movie. Really, kind of does, kind of doesn't. It kind of feels a lot just like Non. Maybe it was super high expectations. Maybe it was seeing that super high score and everything was like, whoa, and made me go and think into the stratosphere. But maybe it's just I'm not 100% on board with this franchise, and I never really have been, and that's like the hard truth of it. Like I said, War for the Planet of the Apes was a well-made movie. There's definitely some serious high points in it. My boy Maurice is the best character in the whole franchise. Awesome. There were some new people added in. I liked the girl okay. She didn't really bother me. But then Steve Zahn's character, which was like the goofy zoo ape reject, I didn't like that. And for a movie that was like this cold and supposed to be like this is the end all be all, it's supposed to be a big deal, you got like this weird comic relief going on. And I get it. It's to like break up the really harsh mood of the movie. But it felt out of place to me, and I didn't really think anything he did was funny or entertaining. Sorry, Steve Zahn. I do like you, though. I just didn't like that character in this movie. Whoops.
They must pay. I'll finish this. I offered you peace. I showed you mercy.
You talk about mercy? No matter what you say, eventually you'd replace us. That's the law of nature. So look what you've done.
What did the humans promise you? No matter what you do, you'll never be one of them. You are.
Like I said, you can probably tell this wasn't my absolute favorite movie in the world. I wasn't 100% on board with it. I felt like it was way too long, way too similar to Dawn. Just not really my thing. Not my favorite movie. But if you really like the Apes movies and you're really into these prequels and you're on board, you're probably going to love this movie. Like I said, it's really good, really well made, just not really my thing. So I can't really recommend it on those grounds, but I can recommend it to people that think these movies are dope, because you're probably going to think it's awesome. But if you're not on board with these movies, this movie's probably not going to sell you. This has been Roy on Celluloid, on regular reviews on War for the Planet of the Apes, on Matt Reeves, on Andy Serkis, on Woody Harrelson, on... That's pretty much all the things I'm on. You guys have a good night. Thank you.